Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mix from version 1 and today we're going to talk about the difference between coil machines and rotary machines. So, I'm going to start off the video by showing you guys the parts of the machines. So, here we go. Alright, so let's start off with the coil machine. The coil has several parts. You have the frame, the armature bar, the contact screw, the coils, and the grip lock. Of course, you have the nipple where you attach the needle. Now let's go over each part one at a time. So let's start with the frame. The frame holds everything together. Basically, you need a sturdy frame. They're made out of iron, brass, or sometimes it's made out of this lightweight alloy. Yeah, those are the really light coil machines. I prefer iron and brass. Mostly brass. Next, you have the armature bar. Now the armature bar is comprised, or it's made of several parts. You have the back spring, the front spring, the bar, and the nipple thing. The nipple is where you put the needle, again, not something else. So anyway, the purpose of a backstring, besides connecting the frame and the arm, is the tension of your armature bar. If you have more tension, sometimes it creates a harder hit. So if your machine is kind of like hard to pull down, it's pretty good for creating a harder hit. If it's too loose, then it creates a softer hit, which is generally better for shading with coils. So we'll get into that later. So other than the back spring, you have the front spring. Now the front spring is used to conduct it connects the contact screw to the armature bar. That's where the electricity thing happens and magnetism starts to take effect. Now, a little tip, after a few sessions or after using your coil machines for a while, you need to clean the contact screw and the front spring area because it's going to create carbon and that can affect how the electricity moves into the coils. Sometimes it makes the machine not work properly. So to clean that, just put a little bit of Vaseline in between and then run the machine for like 20 seconds and wipe it off. Now, when it comes to front springs, there are several front springs that you can attach. Let's just go with the basic. You have the shorter front spring, usually used for lining. And you have the longer front spring, which is normally used for shading. Next, we'll look at the contact screw. Now the contact screw, like I said, is how the machine will get its electricity to create magnetism. So these are made out of brass or iron or anything that conducts electricity. Now, depending on the position of your contact screw will also tell you what kind of machine or what kind of coil machine you're using. If it's kind of tilted upwards like this one, well, this is kind of laying down a bit, but sometimes you'll find one that's like standing, and those are normally liners. Now if it's lying down on its side like this one, like all the way to its side, that's for shading. You do that to create softer hits. Next, we'll talk about the coils. Now the coils, there's two. Normally the back coil is higher than the front coil, so you can test that by putting your armature down and the back spring has to hit first rather than the front. Alright, so other than that, you have the lock, which just holds your grip in place. And of course the nipple, which holds the needle. Now that's a coil machine. Altogether, you create a solid machine that works for a very, very long time. I've had some machines for 5 years now and it's still working. I've had friends that had machines that are 20 years old and they still work really well. These are like the old American steel body cars if you're gonna compare it to anything. They're dependable, they're solid, and they work. Alright, next we have the rotary machines. Now depending on what rotary machine you have, there will be more or less parts, so we'll just stick with the basic ones like the direct drives and the linear drives. So the direct drives, basically you have the same thing, a lock that holds the grip. You have the motor. I think this is a Japan motor. Yeah, so I don't know, like most rotaries I see in the Philippines have Japanese motors in it. You have a cam wheel, and again you have the nipple. So the parts are much less, and of course the clip cord attachments. So there are less parts, it's less confusing, and there's no tuning involved. That's why a lot of people gravitate towards rotary machines. Now, gravitate towards rotary machines. Now let's look at the linear drive. Like the direct drive, it has a cam wheel, but you don't see it right now because it's inside the frame. It's basically in between this little slider arm, and when the motor turns, the cam wheel is helping push this arm forward and backward. There's a spring inside to create some tension. You have the nipple, and this one in particular has a needle holder so that you don't need to put any rubber bands. But depending on what kind of needles you have and if they're any good, some of them you might need to bend a bit, but this one in particular I don't really need to do anything with it. I just stick the needle in and it's fine. It also has the grip lock like all machines. Standard clip cords. And this is set, by the way, to a 3.5mm stroke. You cannot change that. Unlike direct drives where you can adjust your stroke, like this machine I think goes from 1 to 5. Alright, so those are the different parts of a coil machine and a rotary machine. If you're gonna compare it, this is a lot more complicated than this one. Alright, so now that you guys know about the different parts, let's talk about how the machines run. Basically, a coil uses magnetism to create a motion with the armature bar, which is a push and a pull. Push, pull, push, pull. Alright? That's how the needle is gonna move. Now with the rotary machine, it just uses a motor and it spins the cam wheel, and that's how it creates a motion of the needle. And now let's talk about voltage and what it does to your tattoo machine. For coil machines, if you increase the voltage, it pushes the needle into the skin more, giving you a harder hit. So when you up the voltage too much, it's gonna create trauma to the skin. So be careful. Now you only want to do the only reason why you're gonna increase the voltage for your coil machines is probably if you want to do a solid black line for your new trad outlines, because you're gonna be using a RS needle, a round shader, and that's gonna need a lot more power to get it really in there. If it's too weak and your hand is too fast, there's gonna be a lot of unsaturated black on the lines. You'll see it once you try it. Now, if you increase the voltage on your rotary machines, what happens is it's gonna just increase the speed of the needle, creating a finer point. Since we're talking about voltage, I just wanna tell you guys my personal voltage for my tattoo machines, for my coil machine and my rotary machines. Now, for my liner, I run this thing about 6.8 volts. I never run it higher than that. I don't like to do fast lines, so I take my time with my lining. That's just me. Other people like to like run through them and put the voltage all the way up to 11. I mean, that's good and it's fast. I just don't like doing that. So I run mine on 7. It works. If you're curious how many wraps my machine is, it's an 8 coil. So it's pretty good. You know, it's when you're starting out, you kind of want to start with 10 wraps. But now that I've been doing this for a while, I went to 8. I like it more. Now for my rotary machines. These are a little bit trickier. When I line with this one, I set it to about 7, just because I'm really not used to lining with rotaries. When I color, I set it to about 6 to 6.5. Now for my other coil machine, which I use for shading, it really depends on how it's tuned. So like this one is tuned so that I shade it with around 7 volts, but I have another machine which shades at 4 volts. So you have to look into the wraps of your coils. And basically, I don't know, with coil machines I feel like they have their own personalities and they all run differently. They're kind of fun. Like, I like coils more than rotaries, but I have a lot more rotaries because they're just simpler to use. Now, if you're gonna do some fine shading with your rotaries, you wanna set it pretty low. I set mine to about 5 volts. Yeah. Another minor difference between coils and rotaries is that coil machines are noisy. They're louder, they vibrate more, you need a steadier hand when operating them. One, because they're heavy, and one, because there's more vibration. Now, I'm gonna demonstrate that by putting the cord into this thing, and I'll run it with the same amount of voltage. I'll put it to 6 volts. So this is the coil. This is my shader coil, so it shouldn't be too loud. It'll still be pretty loud. Alright, 6 volts. Here's the sound. That's pretty loud. Now I'll attach it to this one, the Dragon Hog Extreme version 2 direct drive. You guys should buy it, it's really good. And it's cheap. It's pretty quiet. The only noise you're hearing is the lock. Now it's quiet. So depending on where you're doing your tattoos, if you're doing them from home or something and you don't want to bother other people, then you kind of want to go with rotaries. Now if it doesn't matter, if noise doesn't matter, it's really your personal preference. I feel like coils give a better, I don't know, I feel like coils just do the job better when it comes to lining. You have more control over the skin and the needle and the machine itself, rather than the rotaries, because basically your only control with this one is just your hand, you know, how fast your hand is going. You can drop the voltage a bit, but that's not gonna do too much because it's gonna go the same depth all throughout. Alright, so other than the voltage, other than the parts, the noise, tattoo machines like coils and rotaries, they all work pretty much the same, which is push the needle into the skin. Now, you should try both out if you're starting out to find what you're into. When it comes to who wins versus coils and rotaries, here it is. Coils win for lining. I like to line with my coil machines, hands down. I like it more. You have more control over the skin. You feel it more. You can see the skin actually like vibrate and stuff. I like it for lining. Now for shading, I have used the coil machine for shading. It's okay. I started out with it. I like it. but I'm having an easier time using the rotary spool, especially the Dragonhawk version 1 linear drives. This thing packs a lot of color really fast and a lot of black. So lining, coils, shading, rotaries. That's my opinion. I don't care. Here's my tip for you guys starting out. I suggest you start with coil machines. They're gonna train your hand better. You're gonna have more hand endurance, better dexterity. You're gonna create better lines in the long run when you go into coils. When you start using the rotaries, it's gonna be like easy, you know, like this is like driving a manual car, this is an automatic, right? That's the simplest thing I can say about it. Always learn with manual. Alright, so if you guys like this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment below if you have any questions or want any tips when it comes to tattooing. Leave it below in the comments and I'll make sure to answer. There's nothing else to do right now in Manila. We're on lockdown, so I can't do any tattoos, which sucks because I really want to do tattoos. I want to make them, but I can't. So here we are. Anyway, subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay indoors, stay safe, and yeah, bye-bye.